Sorry guys, over the past few days I haven't been able to make videos on the stock market, the Nasdaq, etc. And I've been pretty lackluster on Twitter. Over the next week or so I should get getting back into the swing of things. I'll at least be active in making videos back here on YouTube. I just don't think they'll be as long as usual. I'll be more active on Twitter because I'll at least not be super active as far as like doing my moving and things. Currently my home remodel is like right at the end. So I'm still like in between houses right now. We're staying with my in-laws, father-in-law's office. But yeah, so I'm going to be going over, and I think today, I think you just have massive opportunity across the board. So I had to rush, make a video. It's obviously going to be published way before market close. So maybe you'll get an opportunity or at least see my viewpoint of what I'm looking at here in the market. But the first thing that I want to say is that I don't think a bottom has been confirmed. I don't think that you're guaranteed to make money from down here. I think that right now is actually kind of a riskier point in time to buy. You need to understand that you had 3% drops on the Nasdaq in the past 2 weeks. That's pretty dramatic and hasn't happened since 2022. I don't even know if in 2022 that happened. I'd have to go look. I think it did, but I would have to go look. I mean, you've really dropped close to 2,000 to 3,000 points on the Nasdaq. So those are things to consider. Now, what I will say is based on job numbers, based on things from the Fed, and I think the Fed was very, very bullish in my opinion. But I'll go into that later or maybe even next week. I believe right now rate cuts are all but guaranteed. I think even today's job report put a significant amount of pressure on the Fed now. Is 0.25 on the rate cut enough? I think now it's in the works that a 0.5 rate cut might happen in September, which I was not expecting as well. But when you see the weakening of specific areas in the market, then you have to start expecting the Fed to react appropriately, because they already said that they might be too late on this. So let's get into the market. Anyway, so really quick, and the Mac is about to die, which is awesome. Couldn't time this better. So, few things that I want to talk about real quick. We're going to go into some stocks here in a second, but number one, SPY. Okay, SPY is obviously getting hammered. Now, I want to highlight something before we go too far. Is you're still above massive levels. Okay, so I want to make sure this is really clear, because sometimes when you get this, bearish in some days, and like I said, it's been dramatic, the drop. We forget to look back on previous highs, right? And you need to understand that we are still far above our 2021 level, okay? Understand that. You're really still above your massive key level right here, 525, 530. So those are also things to consider, okay? Now, this is the weekly time frame, so we'll go down to the 4 hours so you can see. But I will say, in the short term, dramatic decline, dramatic drop. I agree, okay? It is. Now, something that's very important here is the overall health of the market. And I don't want to do a, macroeconomics class or anything like that, but I just want to say the areas that show risk on versus risk off. Now, what I will say is IWM, which has been an area that has shown massive risk on, has really dropped back to the downside due to those manufacturing numbers that we had yesterday, in my personal opinion, okay? And I think Amazon wasn't that great either, Amazon's earnings. Now, from this as well, though, we have to go into our big indicators. The dollar. The dollar is getting decimated today. It is dropping dramatically, okay? And I think it's important that we understand what has happened in previous cases like this, when the dollar starts to move the way it is. This is the weekly chart, okay? Now, I will say you haven't really broken the overall trend back to the downside, but it's looking very likely. But something that I have to use as an example are the yields. And the yields paint the picture. I've been saying this for months. The second the 30-year yield drops below 4%, you are going to see strong movement on the overall market. In my opinion, okay, it's my opinion, okay? Now, what happened back here? This is when the market bottomed back in 2022. Yes, yields were spiking, but yields started declining pretty rapidly, got below 4% and settled in November. And then basically from the beginning of 2023, for the next 6 months, the market went straight up. Then we had some, in between July and October, you had a pullback. And then again, when yields dumped again, the market went parabolic from November into basically January. And then it just happened again. But now yields are dropping rapidly. But the interesting thing here is yields are dropping. And guess what? The market isn't reacting the same way as of right now. Now, do I believe that we are going to deviate from this trend? It is possible, but I don't believe that. I just don't. You're still operating above the 200 SMA on the Nasdaq, Qs, whatever you want to look at. You're operating clearly above that. You almost are bouncing at that level. So that would be my bare bones bounce. If I think, I don't know if we're going to reach that level 18.2, but I would suspect you bounce from there. In the short term, I want to see us get back above 19K and hold. I want to let that be known as well. But this is the better viewpoint of yields. When you're looking at the 30-year yield, is go look at TLT, the bond market. This is like a way to view health in the economy. Okay. Now, if you look over the past 2-3 years since the big drop that we had, right? You can even see prior to 2022, but still really in the beginning of 2022 when the market really just collapsed, right? TLT's been operating in the downtrend, like clearly underneath the 200 or the 200 daily moving average. You're mounting it and you are pushing up here as well. Okay. This is a good sign of the overall market. This is also a sign of when we start to see yields get back down. What do we expect here? We expect, number one, mortgage rates to start to drop. What happens when mortgage rates drop? The housing market ticks up. You get strength in the housing market. What are we going to see happen when the housing market ticks back up? You're going to see rent prices come down, which will further help inflation numbers. On top of this, you're seeing oil. Oil's been moving in the overall right direction, back to the downside. I thought you might break up, but you didn't. You projected again and pushed back down. So you're going to see oil and energy prices move in the right direction. That's two major factors, energy and housing. And housing has been the stickiest problem of all. So the likelihood of them cutting rate, it looks really, really good for the overall market, okay? That's my opinion there. So when I go back to Qs and I see this drop here, I'm not saying to YOLO. I'm not saying to go all in. I'm just saying the reward opportunity is there. It makes a lot of sense. Okay, you're coming back in and you're holding these previous highs established from February, early March. This is what you want to see. You want to basically see QQQ hold above 450. You want to see Nasdaq get back above 19K right here. Okay, there's a little bit of deviation based on future rollovers, but that's what you're looking for here. And I had to get on because I see a lot of people freaking out on Twitter and everything like that. And I'm just not as active as I was before here, or I just haven't been over the past few days. But I'm telling you, you look good. This is what you were looking for. This is what you want to see, guys. This is my Twitter link down below. I'll be more active over the next week on this. I'm trying to keep you guys updated. Discord, I'll be back in Discord as well. I'm actually probably going to open up some Discord spots available for you guys as well. I wasn't able to make a video the day that they dropped, so I'll probably leave Discord spots open for the next 24 hours. If you guys are interested, I'll post on Twitter as well. So if you want to join, if you're thinking about joining, making that switch, it's up to you. But what I'm looking at there. Now, really quick as well, this video actually will be longer because I just have to make it longer. So we go to the 1 hour chart on Apple. I'm only going over 2 stocks today, guys. I'm going to tell you that right now. Number one, Apple. Great earnings. They're destroying. They're doing well. I think Apple is one of the easiest longs at this point in time. I like September, October's, or even going for January once again at the 230s. Do what you got to do. I think Apple is one of the best plays here. I'm going to make a lot of money on this play. I'm telling you right now. Number 2, NVIDIA. I'm going to go over the option contracts here in a second as well. NVIDIA. This is the craziest opportunity of all. I think Jay posted maybe one of the trades of the year for the next year. Like literally for the next 12 months, I think it's going to perform as maybe the best. And it might make people hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on how much people invest in. And again, I'm not telling you to buy. I'm not telling you to YOLO. I'm not telling you to go all in. I'm just telling you what I'm doing here. So NVIDIA and Apple. Okay, those are my favorite right now. Now, these trades are going to be totally different, so let me make that clear. What I'm looking at here and what we mentioned in Discord were leaps on NVIDIA. Now, when I go into January 16th, 2026, yes, this is a year and a half away from us where we're at right now. When I scroll up and I look at $100 contracts, they were at $35 a contract. Yes, that's $3,500. Now, again, if you're a smaller trader, you might have to change your position, do something else, okay? I just talk about what I do and where I put my money. I'm not telling anyone to buy any of this, okay? When I'm looking at this, and this is the new Moomoo app to let you know they're changing everything. It's like the new beta thing that they're working on. It looks really cool. Okay. Again, I want to let you know, for these contracts to get the money, these are you have over 18 months in these contracts, people, right? For these to get the money, you wouldn't even be at all-time highs. Really wrap your head around that, okay? I think it's one of the better opportunities. I think if you have less money, you can go shorter dated. You might even be able to go for January. They're cheap as well. Do what you want, but obviously, I think the value is longer dated. Personal opinion, okay? The next one I'm looking at, Apple. Now, I love Apple. I like September 20th a lot. I mentioned this in Discord today. I like them a lot. I love this. I love it. I'm a huge fan. I love this position. So September 20th, I like the January 17th on repeat 2025s. The 230s are $14. But again, I think you can go leaps here, guys. And I want to make something really clear here. Leaps are obviously more expensive on Apple, okay? But I want to make something really clear here, what I'm doing. What the overall trade plan is. The boys are going crazy up in Discord right now. They're very happy. Making this extremely simple to understand, okay? If I'm buying when the market is moving like this, and when there's extreme fear broad-based in the market, I am buying the strongest names in my opinion. I am not buying names that are kind of weak, that I'm like, okay, they should bounce back. I'm not buying Tesla down here. I'm not doing that. You can do that if you want, if you're buying your stock. But I think options, you have to be a little bit understanding of the risk that's at hand there. Okay, NVIDIA, they're going to report earnings in about a week, 2 weeks. I believe they're going to destroy, I believe a $30 billion revenue is around the corner. Apple, they have turned the company around as far as earnings-wise and revenue. They're destroying, and I think as the Chinese market bounces back, Apple will just bounce back stronger. My favorite 2 plays right there. I'm not going to go crazy with the overall amount of names. Those are my favorite stocks. Do what you got to do. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Follow on Twitter. Discord link is going to be down below. Check it out. I will see you guys later.